Look closely at a map of the South Atlantic Ocean. You will find a tiny dot floating in the middle of nothing. That dot is a real town with real people. Its name is Edinburgh of the Seven Seas. It sits on an island called Tristan da Cunha. The nearest other humans live over 1,500 miles away. No airport has ever been built here. The only way in is by boat. That boat comes only a few times a year. So why does anyone live in such a lonely place? Do you understand? We have to zoom out across the planet. The South Atlantic is one of Earth's emptiest seas. Few shipping lanes cross it. Powerful storms dominate the water. A deep volcano once pushed upward from the ocean floor. It broke the surface millions of years ago. That volcano became Tristan da Cunha. It is a green cone of black rock. The island is less than 10 miles wide. Most of it is too steep to walk on. Only one flat shelf exists on the northern coast. That shelf is where every resident lives. It is the only place a town could exist. Geography, not choice, decided where life had to grow. The settlement holds fewer than 300 people. They share just 7 family surnames between them. Every islander descends from a tiny group of settlers. Their family trees are tightly woven across centuries. The story begins with the British Navy in 1816. Britain feared a plot to free Napoleon from St. Helena. St. Helena lies far north of Tristan. Soldiers occupied Tristan to block any rescue route. When the garrison left, one Scottish corporal stayed behind. His name was William Glass. Shipwrecked sailors and stranded whalers slowly joined him. A few women later arrived from St. Helena. From a handful of outsiders, the town grew. Their descendants still walk the same shoreline today. For generations, they have farmed potatoes here. They fish lobster from the cold Atlantic waters. They walk the same single road along the shelf. Life moves at the rhythm of the surrounding sea. To understand why they stayed, look at the geography again. The island sits on the mid-Atlantic ridge. That ridge pushed Tristan up from the seafloor. Below the waves, the island is far larger. The nearest continent, Africa, is 1,700 miles east. South America lies even farther to the west. St. Helena, the closest inhabited island, is 1,200 miles north. No regular ferry runs between them. Ships from South Africa make the journey down instead. The voyage takes 6 or 7 days through rough seas. Storms can delay landings for days at a time. The island has no harbor for large vessels. Ships anchor offshore and transfer cargo by small boats. When the swell rises, nothing comes ashore. Sometimes a ship arrives, waits, then turns around. The ocean, not the calendar, decides supply days. Ordering anything here is an act of patience. A package from London can take months to arrive. Mail and groceries arrive only a few times a year. The community plans everything around these rare ships. If you forget something, you wait many months. There is no shortcut and no overnight delivery. A single shop stocks the island's basic supplies. It opens only a few hours each week. Prices reflect the cost of shipping things in. A simple jar can cost several pounds here. Fresh fruit is rare and treasured when it arrives. Most produce comes from family gardens behind each home. Electricity flows from diesel generators on the island. Fuel itself must be shipped in by sea. There are no traffic lights anywhere on Tristan. Only a few miles of road exist on the island. Most people walk or drive short distances. Cars here usually outlast their owners by decades. There is one pub, one cafe, and one small museum. Each evening, neighbors gather to share news and stories. The community even runs its own small radio station. It broadcasts updates, weather, and music for everyone. So why have these families never moved away? The answer lies in what the island quietly offers them. Every family receives a plot of land for potatoes. These plots sit in a single shared field. The potato patches are a short walk from town. Everyone harvests together when the season arrives. Cattle and sheep graze on the volcano's lower slopes. Each family carefully marks its own animals. Fishing days are decided by the council each week. When the weather turns calm, every boat heads out. The lobster catch funds nearly the entire community budget. Roads, school, and clinic all depend on it. If the lobster ever vanished, the island would struggle deeply. The economy rests on this single fragile species. The volcanic soil is rich and surprisingly fertile. The surrounding sea teems with valuable lobster. Rain falls often, feeding green pastures for sheep and cattle. The climate is mild year-round. Life is hard but stable and self-contained. Everyone knows everyone. Serious crime is unknown. There's no unemployment because the community shares the work. Land cannot be bought or sold by outsiders. The community owns it together, passed down through generations. This keeps the island unified. In 1961, the volcano suddenly woke beneath the town. Lava and ash forced every islander to evacuate. They were taken by ship to England. For nearly 2 years, they lived in a strange country. They saw cars, cinemas, supermarkets, and crowds. Many had never even ridden in a car before. And then, almost unanimously, they voted to go home. They missed the silence and the simple rhythm. That single decision tells you something powerful. Isolation for them is not a punishment, but a life. Still, the modern world keeps tugging at the edges. Each generation must decide whether to stay or leave. Would you ever live somewhere this remote, with no airport? Tell me honestly in the comments below. Because the truth is, even paradise has a price. Distance protects this place but also tests it. Today the island has internet, but it is slow and expensive. Satellites now connect this town to the world. Children attend school on the island until age 16. After that, many travel to South Africa to study. Some return home, but others choose to stay abroad. This slow drift threatens the town's future. The population has shrunk gradually over the decades. Every birth and departure is felt by everyone. Medical emergencies are perhaps the greatest danger here. The island has a small hospital and one doctor. Serious cases require evacuation by passing fishing vessels. Patients sometimes wait days for a ship. This single fact shapes how carefully islanders live. People drive slowly and watch their children closely. Tourism on Tristan is tightly controlled and rare. Only a few hundred visitors reach the island yearly. There are no hotels in the usual sense. Travelers stay in guest houses run by local families. You cannot simply book a flight and arrive. You must apply, plan ahead, and accept the weather. Even then, your ship might never actually land. Many travelers have circled the coast and sailed away. The geography that protects this town also imprisons it. Steep cliffs surround almost the entire coastline. The flat northern shelf is the only foothold for life. Beyond it lies thousands of miles of empty ocean. This isolation has shaped a unique English dialect. Islanders carry traces of Old Scottish and St. Helena accents. Their words have drifted in ways linguists find fascinating. It is a living museum of language. The economy depends almost entirely on lobster fishing. One processing plant exports the catch to global markets. Stamps and coins sold to collectors bring extra income. Britain still administers the territory from London. But daily decisions are made by the islanders themselves. A small elected council handles community life. It remains one of the last true village democracies. Decisions are debated in person, face to face. Climate change now threatens this fragile balance. Warmer seas may shift lobster populations elsewhere. Stronger storms may damage the small harbor more often. Rising shipping costs make every delivery harder. The island must constantly adapt to survive another century. Nothing about its future is fully guaranteed. Wildlife on the island is famously rich. Penguins, seals, and rare seabirds nest along the coast. Nearby, Inaccessible Island is a strict nature reserve. No one is allowed to settle there. Gough Island sits even farther south of Tristan. A small weather station is its only outpost. Together, these islands form a UNESCO World Heritage Site. They are among Earth's least disturbed ecosystems. Scientists visit each year to study the wildlife. Their research depends on the same ships everyone else uses. Invasive mice on Gough Island once threatened seabird chicks. A long eradication effort has helped restore the balance. Protecting nature is part of daily life here. The islanders see themselves as guardians of the ocean. The waters here are surprisingly cold for this latitude. A polar current sweeps up from Antarctica nearby. That cold water is exactly what the lobsters love. Geography, again, decides the entire economy of the island. The same current brings nutrients to feed huge seabird colonies. Without it, the island ecosystem would collapse. Weather here changes faster than almost anywhere else. 4 seasons can pass in a single afternoon. Winds often arrive at hurricane strength without warning. Roofs are tied down with heavy steel cables. Houses cluster close together for protection and warmth. Every wall is built to face the next storm. Homes are painted in bright reds, blues, and greens. The cheerful colors stand out against gray skies. Each family keeps a small garden of vegetables behind the house. Cabbages, carrots, and onions grow in the wind. And yet, the people here remain hopeful and rooted. Their identity is tied to this lonely volcano. They are not lost, forgotten, or stranded by accident. They are descendants of people who chose this life. Many are choosing it again, generation after generation. Children grow up knowing every neighbor by name. Zoom back out to the world map. The deeper lesson finally becomes clear. Geography decides where humans can live, but it never decides why they stay. The why is always written by people, not coastlines. A flat shelf became home because someone refused to leave. A volcanic rock in the Atlantic became a community. Edinburgh of the 7 seas exists through stubbornness and love. It exists because the sea, however cruel, also provides. For some, isolation feels much more like freedom. The most remote town on Earth is not a tragedy. It is a quiet answer to a human question. How small can a world be and still feel whole? For the people of Tristan, the answer is small. They know every face, every field, every passing ship. Their world is narrow but extraordinarily deep. In an age of constant noise, that quiet matters. It is a reminder of what humans truly need. A home, a job, and people who know your name. Sometimes geography quietly authors exactly that. And that, in the end, may be enough for a whole life. Tristan da Cunha proves it every single day. If this story changed how you see the map, leave a comment. The best ones often shape future videos. Subscribe and ring the bell for more on how the world works. There are stranger, lonelier places still ahead. Somewhere out there, a tiny shelf of land is still holding on, and our world is richer because of it.